was all him. It was all him. So we kind of like planned that in St Paul's after one of the minor Ulster matches. We did all in something like 120k.
Back down to his organisation, even before we went, with his, Anto got this specially adapted chair, and myself and Benji were up in the house sort of putting it together. But Anto from the chair, he was dictating in a positive sense, telling you what to do, what way to do it. You know, that them sort of strands of his personality were shining through. And when I think about what all the factors that Anto had against him, he controlled the controllables, you know. He didn't think about what he couldn't do or what he didn't have. Even the first day in the Pyrenees, and it was a downpour, and you turned around at the stage, and I turned around and Anto was sitting in the chair and his lips were blue. I went, "Are you all right?" And he goes, "Keep going. Just keep going." It was sort of a nervous energy, but it was just because you knew each other so well, but at the same time you were going, you know, you just couldn't believe like this sort of strength and resilience they have. And again, for Alison to watch, I'm not sure I could watch someone I love, you know, do that, but Alison knew how important that was for Anto to do that.
We went over the Pyrenees in the first night. Most people stop halfway up and stay, whereas we had to go on because our destination was at the bottom of it, at the other end of it. And it was the toughest day ever because it was lashing rain, it was freezing. And he's sitting in the chair and we're pushing him over rocks, over grass. And it was seriously mentally tough for me alone because we were walking, but he was sitting there taking the full, and we didn't get it until we actually got to where we were staying that first night because he was absolutely froze, shaking. And we were worried because as soon as we got in the place, all we had in our minds was, let's get him heated up. We got him in the shower, got some heat into him, and that was a real tough night because we knew what kind of obstacles we'll have ahead of us here. It was really tough, but the next morning, there he was up, and it was so funny. You woke up, we stayed in, it was like a nun's hostel place or whatever, a big massive chapel, and you woke up to Ave Maria, 6 a.m, and the place is packed. I mean, you're staying in dorms, and we woke up to Ave Maria, and he was like, "Right lads, let's go." And that was it then. So we were up and you were away again.
But it was again the sheer determination of him. There's a part in the Camino called I think it's the Roman steps. So there's maybe about 10, 15 at this site. So to give it some context, you know, Anto's in a specially designed wheelchair. When we were leaving the nearest town, the locals were telling us that you can't get up there. And we were sort of laughing and joking, going, "We're from Anadin, we can do anything," you know.
And the steps weren't just normal steps. The steps were like 1.5 feet high, each one. So you had to lift them up. But at the top of the steps, there was a big massive drop. And at the top of the steps, there was one of the steps was gone. So it was only this wee narrow bit where you had to, basically, I was down below, and you were basically putting them up onto the step, and then whoever was up at the top of the step had to pull them up.
Like a whole lot of occasions during the Camino, myself and Beansy and Alison just would have said, literally taking it a step at a time, "Anto, we're going to put your back left wheel there. We're going to do this, that and the other." And all he kept ever saying, and said it throughout the week, was, "I trust you, keep going. I trust you, keep going."
It was crazy, but we got him up, and I found that day very, very hard because I had it in my head that we were going to drop him. But we never. We kept him up, and he was slagging me, as he did. "What are you crying for, Mum? We got it up a hill. That's not the smallest hill we've came up and all this here." And, brilliant. Just seeing how tough and mentally tough the mom was. It's just, Because there was times during it where we wanted to stop, and he wasn't. He was going, no, keep going.
He says, like all of us said, it was the most challenging thing that has ever done, but the most rewarding. So I think that sums it up for all of us, you know.